Gilbert Arenas saying that Jokic is the worst MVP of all time.
Why is anyone?
Yeah, why?
Why would anyone listen to a man whose nickname is Agent Zero?
I just don't. Why did he become like the?
Let's open that up.
The way he speaks is like he's the authority.
In the comment section below, America. By the way, welcome to IDD on a Thursday, the redoubtable one, Tom Izzo, the highly questioned one. We are having cocktails in the mid-sack as the day go by. Compliments of the good doctor and the melon, the Mountain
Major
Dew
Melon,
Major
Mountain Deezy,
and the pin whip on handle. We are smoke free tonight. I'm depressed beyond belief. But that won't stop the giggle smoke guarantee from happening. No sirree, bub. Segment one, though, we're going to start with the NBA. My dearest friend to the right here got some horrible news today. You may have heard.
Nobody died.
Well, damn close. Mr. Randall, who he suspected he had bad vibes on this, his instincts,
last night.
His instincts were proven correct. This afternoon, around the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock hour, the word came down that they have shut him down for the season for surgery, so he is done.
Randall.
Fortunately, his teammates didn't get the memo.
Can I just say something about the whole Randall thing first?
Absolutely.
The one thing I didn't like is that. So, obviously, he tried everything he could to come back.
He tried to come back. I'm not going to knock him for that.
He's been rehabbing for probably 2 months now.
About 7 weeks, I believe, whatever. Yeah. So,
but in his statement, he says he went into a full contact practice about 5 weeks ago and banged his shoulder, and it felt unstable. It felt basically like it did when the injury first happened. This is 5 weeks ago. And at that point, he was told, like, you're going to do damage if this thing happens again. Like, your shoulder's not stable, you need to get surgery. Mm-hmm. So what were you doing for 5 weeks?
Probably getting second and third opinions. Probably trying to find one doctor to tell him you could play with it. Because
I don't think he wanted to do that, though. I don't want this guy to end his career because, you know what I mean? Like,
no, the question he was asking is, if he plays with it, does it get any worse? And if every doctor kept saying it will.
Yeah, but it doesn't take you 5 weeks. I mean, what are you going at 7?
What do you think he was doing?
I don't know.
Because honestly, that's the only thing that makes any sense. Why wouldn't he have
5 weeks of doctors? No, it doesn't.
These doctors don't just, hey, I got nothing to do tomorrow. When
the Knicks call, yeah, they do.
No. The Knicks have a doctor themselves. If he goes to an independent doctor,
it's going to take him 5 weeks.
I think he went to more than one.
All right.
I think he
could fly anywhere.
Then tell me what he did, Tom.
He's been working out.
Waiting to see if one guy would say, no, it won't get worse. You can try and play through it.
I don't think so.
Well, you don't have any proof. You can't disprove that.
I think they were just fucking stringing us along.
Why the fuck would they do that?
To piss you
off? Oh, my, stop it.
They do it all the time.
You think they strung this guy along for 5 weeks just to piss off the fan base? Give me a break.
Not to piss off the fan base.
Then why would they do that?
They indirectly pissed us off.
Oh, my. Then why were they doing it? Why were they stringing
the Knicks have done shit that doesn't make sense for 20 years.
No. Give me a reason.
For 20
Give
years,
me a reason besides he was looking for a second, third opinion. Some doctor. Yes, it does make sense. Because you know what? I'll tell you why it makes sense. Because Kendrick Perkins, who had this injury and had 4 surgeries, said on NBA Today.
Doesn't make sense.
You're right. The guy who had this injury, who played pro ball and did the same fucking thing this guy did with the Celtics, said that he's probably looking for third, fourth opinion, waiting for one doctor to say, nope, if you can play, it won't get any worse. Kenneth Perkins did the same thing in 2010. He did the same thing in 2010.
It doesn't take 5 weeks for that.
You don't know what it takes because when you go to independent doctors, they can't just drop their schedule. Oh, I can see you on the 23rd. Or I can see you in a week. I can see you in 10 days.
I don't think that happened.
You don't know that happened. But the guy
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, here's the problem.
I don't think you don't know either.
I do know because the guy who went through it said on NBA TV today.
Kendrick Perkins is not Julius Randle.
Kendrick Perkins had the same injury in 2010. They strung him along for almost a month, and then finally, after he went to doctors, he said this on NBA Today. He said it. Yes, he did. He goes, and I know what he's doing.
He's trying to wait until this far into the thing.
I was waiting for you. I said this is what I think happened, and then Kendrick Perkins confirmed it today.
No. You just said you think this is what happened.
Kendrick Perkins.
Now you're backing it up with Kendrick Perkins' story.
Kendrick Perkins had the same injury in 2010. Rather than shut it down, he tried to get second, third, and fourth opinions, trying to find one doctor that would say, it doesn't get any worse if you play with it. So he went along, he was working out for a month or so. And then finally, that was it. And he didn't play in the playoffs.
See, that's not exactly what happened with Julius Randle. Julius Randle started rehabbing. Okay, so he decided, I'm not going to get surgery. Started rehabbing. Then he says he went into a full contact practice. He hit the shoulder again. It went out of place. And this happened 5 weeks ago. And a doctor told him then, that's when he knew he was going to have to get surgery. He said that.
He had one doctor say that.
5 weeks ago he said that.
And what Perkins was saying was, the first doctor I talked to said the same thing to me. And he said, you're welcome to get a second opinion. I'm telling you what I think you need to do. So he went and got a second, a third, and a fourth before finally he shut it down.
And he said it took him 5 weeks to do
4
that?
weeks.
But
what's different is he didn't have a practice. He was rehabbing, but he didn't try and go into another practice and get it hit.
And
that's the difference. But he went for a month. He was rehabbing or trying to rehab, and he kept going through doctors. And finally, after like the fourth one, he goes, "Look, they're all saying the same thing. There isn't one doctor telling you different. Forget it." And he didn't play in the playoffs. Now, does that mean? Here's the thing about this: he's not the player that Randall is.
Of course.
The Celtics got to the finals, and if it wasn't for these refs trying to bail Kobe Bryant out in the fourth quarter, they'd have won the title without him. Because they were ahead going the fourth quarter, and the refs literally 13 fouls on the Celtics in one quarter, in the fourth quarter, of a game that Kobe Bryant went 6 for 24 for. So this is different. He is an all-star. He's their second best player. But where he is, and I don't know if he's still at the gloom and doom status after what the Knicks did tonight, which, by the way, was bitch slap a very good Sacramento team. And they were down double digits. They came all the way back. At one point, they were down 17. They came all the way back.
First half again?
Yeah. But they came all the way. But again, they don't have the firepower to jump on a good team like we talked about this.
I just hate how they keep falling behind.
They're not trying to fall behind. They don't
I understand that, but they have the defense to not fall down by 17.
But look at the team we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're a good team.
I'm surprised they were able to battle back.
Sacramento is capable of making a run to the conference finals in the West. I'm not saying they will, but they went 7 games with Golden State last year. They got more experience. They are healthy, unlike the Knicks. Okay?
Yeah.
And they're coming in. They're fighting for something right now. There's a log jam in the West. Go look at the West standings right now. Okay? They're right in the middle of that fight. Okay? But with like 5-6 teams. Okay? And they're ahead of the LeBrons and the Steph Currys and these teams that are playing really well right now. The Lakers have won 8 out of 10. Did you know that?
I did not.
The Lakers are on fire right now, okay? So Golden State has won 7 out of 10. These teams at the bottom are really making a push to try and get out of this play-in. So this is no fluke what happened tonight. They play defense. Defense travels. And if OG comes back, now this is the other problem with him. He talked about last night the bulging, whatever the hell it is coming out of his elbow.
He's got like a bulb on his elbow.
So I don't know what that is, if it's something they have to drain.
And that's what I'm talking about with the Knicks. It's not that like... I don't think the Knicks purposely botched this, wanted to piss us off. Okay, part of me is just upset that Randall's gone, okay?
And I get that.
Not at him at all.
No, it's not his fault.
Because he worked his ass off.
Yeah. He was trying to play through it.
He was trying.
I'm not going to hold that. He wanted to play. And finally...
So even if he had made the decision right away to do the surgery, he'd still be out till next year.
Yeah, it wasn't going to change it, but he was going to say, let's see what it feels like in 5 weeks. Let's drag it out. I'll get some more opinions. Let's see if somebody says something. I get why he did what he did.
I just wish there was... Like, the Knicks don't talk to the press. I don't know if you knew that.
Some teams, the Patriots never did it.
They have... I know, and I don't like that because we have, like, a dedicated fan base that is, like... You know, we're hinging on every fucking word about OG's injury.
Dude, that was the Patriots for 20 years.
Nothing, and I hate it.
The Patriots would like this for 20 years.
I know.
Every fucking year. It was like, by the way, did you know Tom Brady was on the injury report every fucking week for like 9 years in a row? Fucking ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? And they tell you nothing. Yeah. And then you have to wait until Sunday at noon. Tom's a go. It's like, what the? He practiced on Friday, still questionable.
But after a few years, you understand, okay, this is the...
No, this is just Belichick being the donkey that he is. He's so paranoid. It's like, come on, man. Like... Is he hurt or is he not hurt? Knock it off. It's football. Yeah. But, I mean, no. I understand where he's coming from. I'm just saying that, to me, they weren't beating Boston if they were healthy. Okay? But if they bring OG back, I think they can, if they're in the other bracket, they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. Because all these other teams are bad.
Maybe Boston beats themselves.
And then, no, but again, look at this. We thought their ceiling was Boston in the conference final. They can still, if they get this guy back, they can still achieve that. because he gives you 15 points on offense, and he can lock down a stud wing player on the other end.
And he makes the whole the team defense just changes.
And they played pretty good defense tonight without him.
Yeah.
Against a good offensive team.
Yeah.
Sacramento's one of the top 5 offenses in the league. They did a good job on them without him. So I'm saying if they get him back, and I'll give Tibbs the edge over any coach in this league outside of maybe Spoelstra.
I agree with that.
I think he's as good as Spoelstra. He's got a ring too, just like Spoelstra does.
But not as the head coach.
No, but he was the architect of that defense.
Yeah.
That 2008 Celtics defense is the best defense I've seen in this fucking century for 1 year. He was the architect of that. And they're playing like it. They don't have a Kevin Garnett at the back end of it. That's the one thing they don't have.
They need the OG.
They need OG on the wing, but they don't have a Kevin Garnett. That's the one difference. Okay? That's where that defense, because they had that dude at the back end of it.
No, I mean, I think you're right. If they can get OG back, it's such an if because nobody knows what's happening.
If this is something where they can, if you have to drain it, he can play with that. Because you can play with it if you drain it.
But I think if it was that simple, I think that's what they would have done.
Well, again, maybe with him, it's about look. Let's do this. Let's put it off as long as. Again, their thing is get a home, get the first round for whatever it is. Now here's the question. The Knicks have to make a decision here, and I'm not saying throw games, but I'm saying they're kind of they could go either way. They're close enough to the 3 spot where they could go for it. They're a game and a half out of it. Mm-hmm. They're close enough to the 6 spot where they could fall back into it. To me, that's the slot they want to be in, the 3 or 6, and they can get to either one of them. What they don't want to do, right now? They're in the 5 spot. Here's the thing: them and Orlando have the same record. Orlando's ahead because I think they have the edge in the season.
Right, but the 4 spot might as well be.
You don't want, because you're going to be in Boston's side of the bracket. You don't want to be in that bracket. Yeah. So the question, and Thibodeau has to ask this. He has to be smart here. Honestly, do you want to face Boston in the second round, or do you want to face them in the conference finals? Because here's the other thing: there's always the chance that somebody gets hurt during the playoffs for Boston, and the further you put them off, the more of a chance there is that happens.
Yeah.
So if I'm Tibbs and I'm a game and a half back either way, I'm looking at my schedule. Who am I playing? Who is Orlando playing? Who is Cleveland playing? Who is Milwaukee playing? Milwaukee's fucking this up 6 ways to Sunday right now. I mean, you have to make a decision. Should we go for the 3 or just fall back to the 6? And that's a legitimate question.
It's just such a hard thing to.
It's a hard, but I know it's a hard question. That's what I'm saying. You got to look at the schedules, and we can look at them and look at these teams like Orlando and Cleveland and Milwaukee.
All right, so I'll throw some games out there. Okay. So Orlando plays Charlotte, so that's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win.
Knicks play the Bulls.
That should
be a win.
Should be a win. Where is it?
It's in Chicago.
Okay, well, the Bulls are in the playoff. They're not a bad team.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in the play-in? They're the 9th team right now.
All right, so that's not as easy as...
It's not as easy as Charlotte. I can tell you that right now. The Bulls are... DeRozan's for real. DeMar DeRozan's for real. Yeah. He's good.
Milwaukee is playing Toronto in Milwaukee. This is all tomorrow. There's a lot of
that
games.
Doesn't mean anything. They just lost at home to Memphis.
and the Wizards on the road, God.
Yeah, Milwaukee's not safe with anybody right now.
Okay, so Philly's not really in this equation, right?
They're 8th. They're the 8th seed right now.
Cleveland is kind of in this equation.
They are in the equation.
So Cleveland plays the Lakers on Saturday.
That's a big game.
Midday game.
The Lakers need that game. Where is it?
It's in L.A.
That's a big one. The Lakers can win that game.
Yeah.
They can definitely win that game.
Because Cleveland's bigs are not tough.
No, they're not. And Anthony Davis is having a hell of a year. He quietly has had a hell of a year.
All right, now Sunday, Cleveland's at the Clippers. So Cleveland's got this West Coast run. Mm-hmm. Miami is at Indy.
Mm-hmm. Miami's at Indy. That's a big game.
Yeah. Chicago's at Orlando.
That's a big game.
But I think Orlando
at home should beat Chicago.
Beats them.
Yeah.
The Knicks are at Milwaukee. Fuck, that's a big game. What do you think they should do? Should they just start resting people?
Well, you don't want to fall into the play-in. You gotta play this right.
It's such a fine.
It's a fine.
That's
line.
why I don't know if you can really strategize to lose.
I'm just saying. This is why I wanted to see what the schedules were.
It's almost like you just gotta play, and because if you strategize to lose and end up in the play-in,
but if you finish at the 7th seed, you play the 2.
But
You're in the other side.
right, but the danger is you lose in the play-in.
If the 2 is, I got news for you. I don't think they're going to lose. The Knicks are not losing in the play-in. Their defense is far better than any of the teams in that play-in. They're not losing.
I mean, I would hope not, but
They're not losing if they fall that. I'm not saying they should do it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But I'm saying if worst case scenario, if they end up in the 7th spot, that I wouldn't. They could easily win that out and finish 7th, and then they draw the 2 seed, and they're on the other side of the bracket anyway. And I got news for you: if that's Milwaukee and you have OG back, I would take my chances. I would take my chances. I really
all right.
would.
So then there's no games Monday. Then on Tuesday,
no foul.
Miami plays at Atlanta. Boston plays at Milwaukee, but Boston has everything locked.
Boston's not going to.
But they still might beat them with their bench.
Right.
New York is at Chicago.
That's a big one.
Orlando's at Houston. That's a tough game, but they should beat Houston.
No, they shouldn't beat Houston. At Houston? No. Houston will win that game.
Okay.
Houston's still fighting. Houston's 1 game back for the 10th spot, and they're over
Orlando's
5.
fighting too, though.
But I get news for you. Ime Udoka should win Coach of the Year this year. He has proven his mettle. I get news for you. If he were coaching the Celtics this year, the Celtics would be flirting with 70 wins. I'm not kidding when I say that. I'm not kidding. Because defensively, he's as good as Thibodeau is. He really is.
All right, and then
I think Orlando loses that game.
Okay. Then Wednesday, the day after that, Memphis at Cleveland, so Cleveland gets a win.
Yeah.
I just spit on my phone.
See, it's not just me, America.
No, it's not. Dallas at Miami.
Okay. Ooh.
I don't know that Dallas will need that game.
Yes, they will. They're in the. They're trying to get out of the play. Yeah, they're in the. They're half a game out of the play, and they can't lose that game. This is the beauty of the play. These teams can't dog it.
Orlando at Milwaukee.
That's a big one. And by the way, Milwaukee's trying to get the 2 seed. Milwaukee doesn't want to be the 3 seed because then they're on the road for 2 rounds, and they won't get past 2 rounds on the road the way they're playing.
Yeah. So after seeing that, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
If you were Tibbs, what would you do?
I know what Tibbs is going to do.
Well, he won't surrender.
Exactly.
Surrender is not discreet.
Tibbs would never go.
Surrender is not discreet.
Hey, guys, let's not play that hard because we could get the
No, he'll say, because if they end up in the 5 spot, he'll be like, we're going to have to face the Celtics at some point anyway.
Exactly.
He's like, what's his name from 300? He's like Leonidas. He's like 300 guys. No, I'm just stretching my legs, taking them for a walk. I've given no such order.
He's like, look, if I can play Brunson for 58 minutes tonight, I will. And Josh Hart, be prepared to play 49 minutes.
I mean, look, I love that attitude, but at some point you got to be smart. As my father said to me once upon a time when I had a chance to go football or basketball, he goes, look, I know you're tough. Can you be smart? And he was referencing that because of the pills he was popping for all the arthritis and shit he had in his body. So he's like, I know you can do either one, and I know you're tough. Do you want to be tough or do you want to be smart? I don't want you looking like this in your 40s where you can't walk without pain and all this crap. So, and it was a very painful lesson because I didn't realize what was happening to him, and I don't know if my brothers realized it either, but at that time, we were young, but he took a pounding. Yeah. So, again, tough will get you so far and then it will get you killed. Or it'll get you something else. You need to be smart and play the long game sometimes. And if I'm the Knicks, my best chance of getting to the conference finals is to get in the other half of the bracket. One way or another. I don't care how he does it. But the last thing...
he's going to have to do it on accident. Because he
won't yield.
Everybody knows Tibbs.
Yeah, he won't yield.
I mean, his guys could be on,
And look, they can win that first round series. I'm not saying they can't. I just don't want them to see Boston in the second round.
Right, because they'll be outmatched.
Boston will. Yeah. I can do it. And if Boston is, listen, for all the hiccups Boston did have this year, they had far fewer than last year, and they locked everything up with 2 weeks to go. I didn't know that they'd do that, so I have to give them credit for that. Okay, because now they can rest everybody, and they know that April 20th is when everything starts for them. I don't think the Celtics are going to take anybody lightly in this playoff. I don't know it for a fact. Their history says otherwise.
Well, if they do, then you do have to fire Missoula.
I'm saying if they don't sweep the first round, at least they should. I don't care who comes out of this plane. They should sweep whoever that is. I don't care who.
Who are the possibilities? Atlanta,
Philly, Miami.
Yeah.
Philly and Miami normally would not be, but the Celtics are so.
They're so much better.
They're so much better.
Yeah.
Look, the additions of Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis cannot be overstated. There was no team in this league that upgraded at 2 starting positions in the offseason, but the Celtics. Denver's bench, and I was laughing at these Denver guys today because they never brought up the fact that their bench isn't as good as it was last year. And last year they had home court. And the West wasn't as good last year as it is this year. Mm-hmm. Denver is not going to have an easy road to this final. Mm-hmm. Two teams took the season series off them. They're not afraid of them. Okay? And Phoenix, who's no one's talking about, went into Denver and won twice. So there's three teams that I know of that are not afraid of this team. Okay? That's a problem. Okay? Because they're not afraid of you and they think they can beat you, you've got a problem on your hands.
What's the status of Cat?
I don't know. They haven't shut him down. They haven't said anything yet. But again,
he hasn't played since.
No, but I think what they're thinking with him is they can win the first round series without him.
Yeah,
which they probably.
What are they? The two?
They're. Look at this. They're all the same record.
I haven't looked at.
I mean, they're all like it's. Hold on, let me pull up. They are literally like they're all. It's right now. It's Minnesota 1, Denver 2, and OKC 3 by half a game. So, where's the standings here? No, I don't want NFL free agency. I don't care about that. They're all like 50. I think these two teams are 52 and 23. They being Denver and Minnesota, and OKC, who just got blasted by Boston last night, is 53 and 24. They're half a game back. So now Denver right now is taking care of business here in the first quarter. By the way, Westbrook is playing. Westbrook is out there. He's back. So he's out there. Yeah, he's out there.
Oh, he's got
the thing on his hand.
Soft cast
he's got a soft cast on his hand. So he's playing through. Westbrook is tough.
He's a tough
motherfucker. Yeah. No one's ever going to accuse Westbrook of being soft.
He's like a Tom Thibodeau.
He is. He would rather.
He's a player.
He'll die before he yields.
Exactly. He will. He's like, one hand. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck about one hand.
Take it.
That's right. I got one hand.
It's a shame they never won in OKC.
Well, they didn't stay together.
Yeah.
When they broke up, they were very young. They were not in their prime. No. If that team had stayed together, they'd have won at least two. They'd have won at least two. Maybe three. They might have been a dynasty if they'd stayed together.
It's just a shame when it becomes all about the max contract.
No, it came about the money and the ego. Harden was the first one to go because he's got to prove to the world how great he is. Mm-hmm. All he's proved to the world is what a fraud he is. So
that could have been such a great team.
Oh, my God, could it have ever?
If they stayed together for 10 years.
All three of them won league MVP. Think about that for a minute. You name me a team in recent memory. If go back to the fucking, even the Lakers, Magic and Kareem both won, but they had two.
Yeah.
I don't remember a team that had more than two. They had 3 league MVPs on that roster.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I can't think of one.
And I can't think of one. The Lakers of the Magic, that dynasty in the 80s, they had Kareem and Magic.
Oh, then you got Shaq and Kobe, right?
Shaq and Kobe. That's the other one. The other one.
Well, did Dwayne Wade ever get an MVP?
No.
No.
He did not.
So you can't say that
he finished second, I think, twice. I think he finished second twice. Golden State had 2. Steph Curry won a league MVP.
And
Durant
KD,
and KD. Right. So they had 2. But that's not many teams that have 2.
Yeah.
OKC is the only one I know of that had at one point 3 on the roster. That's wild when you think about it. And then look at OKC this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should be him and Tatum if we're being honest, given the records. But everybody, they're Jokic because Denver's playing like Denver again.
Yeah.
But not recently. They're not. They haven't been able to win. They've lost. They've been.
Who do you think's going to win the MVP?
I think that Jokic is going to get it. Although I think that Tatum should get it because they're the best team. But he won't get it and they're holding what happened 2 years ago against him, which is bullshit because you shouldn't do that. But they will. Normally, the team with the best record, that guy gets it, and they're 6 games better than Denver.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So
53 and 23, 53 and 23, 52 and 24.
That's how close they're. And then
so Minnesota and Denver are 1-2, OKC 3.
Yep.
Clippers 47 and 28.
Now look at the rest of these.
Dallas 46 and 30.
Yep.
Phoenix 45 and 31. So that's 6.
One game. Yeah.
But then New Orleans is 45 and 31 too. So they're tied.
They're tied. Look at this. None of these teams.
Sacramento that was a big loss.
That was a big loss. Yes, it was.
They dropped to 44 and 32. They could have been 45 and 31.
That makes that win even more impressive because Sacramento needed that game.
Golden State 42 and 34. So Houston's out of it. They're 4 games back
because Golden State got hot.
Yeah, they're 38 and 38.
Yeah.
So all they can really do is play spoiler at this. I mean, unless Golden State just
There's still
totally
seven.
falls
There's
off.
still 6 games left.
Yeah, I mean,
Ime Udoka's not gonna. He's like Tibbs. He's not gonna yield either. He's not gonna yield. No, he's gonna try and. If they finish over 500 in his first year with those no names, oh my God, they're gonna get free agents down there.
man, look at this. Golden State this year, their home record 19-19.
Makes no sense.
Damn.
Well, it does. They play no
23-15 on the road.
They play no defense. Yeah, they're better on the road, which is crazy. Which, by the way, if you're up at the top of this conference, that's bad news. Because if you have home court against them, it don't mean nothing. Because they're not going to be afraid of you.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. So that's a problem.
Minnesota wouldn't let them win.
All I can say is this: when you have guys that can shoot, you always have a chance.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game you're playing.
Yeah.
And I lived through it 2 years ago because Boston was better, but they didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
And they were stupid on top of it, but they didn't win.
Yeah.
So don't give Golden State hope with their shooting ability. Just don't do it. So, anyway, kudos to the Knicks tonight is a very interesting question. Do they fall to 6? Do they try and get 3? Do they stay where they are? They got 6 games to figure this out, and they're in a boat race. They're in a fight with a bunch of people. It's a Donnybrook. In both conferences, it's a Donnybrook. And I got news to you. One last thing I want to add. 2 things I want to add. One, Kendrick Perkins, do yourself a favor and shut the fuck up. Because honestly, for you to sit there and say the East is trash when you look at the rash of injuries that hit all of the contenders outside of Boston.
He said that?
Yeah, he said the East is trash. I'm like, really? Let's look at the named players that have missed significant time in the Eastern Conference. They're all fucking all-stars. Mm-hmm. All of them. Okay? And then he turns around on the other side of his mouth and he goes, well, if Cleveland and New York and it didn't get hurt, their records would be better. How can you say 2 things? You can't say one and then the other. It's one or the other. This isn't one of those where 2 things can be true because it's not. It's either or. It's either they're trash or they're down because of all the injuries. Mm-hmm. And then when you say that, you can't say they're trash because it's injuries. We talked about it last night. That's the first thing. The second thing is these guys out in Denver. I got news for you. If you think you guys have never been a champion before, understand something. The bullseye on their back is only going to get bigger. If you think that these teams in the West are going to bow and yield and kneel to them because they're the reigning champs, that's not how it works. Okay, they're going to go after them with everything in the kitchen.
What'd you hear?
Oh, they acted like this thing is over. The only concern is Murray's health. If he's healthy, they're going to walk. And they're saying, well, the West is tougher, but they don't need. Denver's proven they can do it. No, Denver did it with home court advantage, and the conference was weaker. Denver's never gone through this. And if Denver's doesn't have home court advantage and they have to go on the road, you could sit there and talk about lack of experience. Denver didn't have any experience, and they won the championship. Yeah. Denver hadn't been that far before, and they won the championship. So you can't sit there and say, well, they don't have experience. Well, you didn't have experience last year, and you went through and won the championship. What the fuck are you talking about? So what you did have was home court. That's the one thing you did have. You don't have it now.
Who's the biggest threat in the West to them?
I think it's 2 teams. Actually, I think it's 3 teams.
Who?
I think it's Minnesota, who took the season series from them. It's OKC, who took the season series from them. And it's Phoenix, who won twice on their court. They got 3 problems that I know about. 3, okay, that I know about. That if they saw any one of them, they're in trouble. They could be in trouble. Any one of them, because Denver can be beaten in Denver. Okay, they don't have that. The one thing the Celtics did do was they protected their home court. Their 3 losses were all to legit playoff teams. Mm-hmm. So, and that's okay because Denver they lost
3 times at home
all season.
Jeez.
It's the 3rd or 4th best home record in NBA history right now as it stands.
33-3.
33-3.
Wow.
Yeah. So the thing is this.
Nobody's even close.
No, but here's the thing though. Their average margin of victory in those games is like 18 points. Like they're blowing. It's not even close. So the thing is, technically, Boston doesn't have to win a road game. They have one of the best road records in the league. In fact, I think they have the best road record in the league, so they're certainly capable. But to me,
their road record is 27-13.
Yeah, it's very good.
14 over.
Yeah, it's very good. Okay, so my thing is they're not afraid to go on the road, but Denver's going to have a very, very difficult path back to the finals. And if they get to the finals, there's a very good chance the Boston Celtics are going to be waiting for them. Okay, who can match them shot for shot, and defensively the Celtics are better. And they swept the Celtics this year, so they're pissed at them. Because I don't think the Celtics are afraid of Denver. I think they took Denver lightly. I don't think they'll take them lightly
How
this
is
season.
that? Why? How would they do that?
Because Boston always looks at what we didn't do. What we didn't do. What we didn't do. Sometimes it's not what you didn't do, okay, or did do. It's what
Sometimes it's giving
Sometimes
credit to
it's
the opponent.
yeah. Sometimes like I think that they'll take Denver seriously because Denver did beat them twice. They won't look at them as, oh, they got lucky. They'll be like, no, they beat you twice. Okay, and we can talk about why it happened all you want, but the fact is they did it to you. So you got to prove
The
something.
only thing that worries me is what happened to Tatum in that game in Denver.
But here's the thing: if Boston and Denver meet in the final, do you know who the favorite's going to be? Denver. Denver. And that right there might be all the juice Boston needs.
Yeah.
They're favored. Yeah, they beat you twice, you donkeys. They're favored. We have home. Doesn't matter. They beat you at home. Okay? You haven't proven shit.
Yeah.
This might have been the best thing that could have happened to them. Because honestly, they can't walk in there going, we swept them. No. They beat you twice. So they ain't afraid of you at all. So
I just hate how he disappeared in that game.
he did.
That's the only thing
But remember now, against Golden State in the finals, he disappeared 2 years ago. So that's going to be ringing. I can news you. If you think he's not going to be reminded of that, I trust me, he won't go anywhere without hearing it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you were in the fight. You were favored 2 years ago, and where the fuck were you? You weren't the second best player on your team. Jaylen Brown was.
Yeah.
In the finals, right? It was
That
Steph.
can't happen.
It can't happen.
No.
It can't happen again.
They're going to win. He's got to be Jason.
He's got to be Jason Tatum. He's going to be the guy you and I think he can be.
Right.
So, and he better do it now if he wants that big money. Because honestly, if they go there and they blow it and they're healthy, everyone's going to be going, don't give him $300 million. He'll crush him for that. Oh, no. Anyway, that's going to do it for segment one. We're going to come back to segment two. We're going to talk baseball. The New York Mets got off the schneid.
Let's go, Mets!
They got off the schneid today. I think that I could put the noose away. I told him he was going to kill himself.
I was watching with a suicidal eye.
I was wondering of the call. We'll be back segment two. Talk
If you were
baseball.
going to text me, are you watching this? I'll say, yes, I'm keeping a suicidal eye.
Yeah,
on it.
I was. Trust me, I had one eye out the window this afternoon. I did. We'll come back. We'll come back to
I'm a mess.
We will talk Mets. We will talk Red Sox big weekend series out in Anaheim. See if they can do what they should do and set up what might mean something here with the Orioles. Talk to you in segment two.
The home opener.
The home.